Good afternoon, everybody. This is Mr. Blackstone coming to you live, and today we are on build day number 13, and we are finishing up with the last bit of varnishing. So I just have to, all I got to do is just varnish the back, and it's done. I mean, she's done. It's kind of too bad. It's kind of almost like a, well, there's still more stuff to do, like put the install the electronics and that kind of thing. But and that's not going to take very long. But it's almost kind of a sad occasion, but happy, if that makes any sense. I've enjoyed this so much. And I feel like I'm a kid again in a candy store, just on a pile of snow. And, the front turned out fucking sweet. I mean, yeah, it's just beautiful. Now, one thing, just a note for everybody before I actually start. Now, just so you know, the varnish that I'm using here. Stuff there. Now, a lot of people complain that it turns kind of like a yellowish color. People who rate these products and stuff like that. Yes, it will over a certain amount of time. It'll darken. It'll turn to yellow, and that's something that can be expected with any varnish. Now, for me, that's not going to matter because the color of the guitar that will actually enhance the look. So that's why I picked what I did with that in mind, knowing that it's going to yellow. So it's it's more of an orange, but that yellowing will definitely complement. Will definitely complement what's on there. So that's one thing you should always keep in mind when you're gonna be varnishing something or whatever, or adding a coat of varnish or something. Always expect that there's gonna be some coloration, even if it says it's clear. Just kind of have that expectation. So and I did add some orange to it, and that's dry. So I like that orange tinge, kind of nice, and that's the effect that I was looking for when I did my test piece here. And which brings to another word of advice for all you kids out there. If it's your first time, or kids or adults or whoever out there, ladies and gentlemen, always do a little test first on a piece of wood. It doesn't necessarily have to be the exact same type of wood, unless the wood you're doing has some kind of weird color or whatever. Then you might want to just try a spot or just a piece that you just kind of cut. And if you're going to build something, like a piece of furniture or something like that, just get a small block, just and say that to the hardware store. Sir, I'd like a little block, that I can. I want to test. And they might even chop up 4 blocks of wood for you and say, here you go. And yeah, because and they won't charge you anything for it unless they're assholes. And there's a lot of assholes out there. You gotta watch out for them. But yeah, but that kind of thing, and but if you're building like a guitar, like what I'm doing, it might be a good idea just go to the lumber store and say, yeah, man, I like a piece of maple. Whereas me, I was staining, and I kind of, I don't know, for some reason or another, I've always had an ability to know what something's going to look like before I lay down the varnish or paint, or, well, I don't paint wood, but with the stain or whatever I'm going to add to it, I just kind of have an idea of what it's going to look like prior to doing it. And that could be due to having vast imagination. Yeah. So, and, but if you don't have that vast imagination, it's just like when I'm cooking. I can actually, if I'm going to try something new, you won't believe this, but it's true. I can actually know what it's going to taste like before I finish it off. It's just like, yeah, let me think. Peach, apple, and mango with a little bit of rum, marinating rum overnight, and make kind of like an apple crisp. That'd be good. Kind of know exactly what it's going to taste like. It's just like, yeah, it's going to have a nice tart taste to it, but I don't know. It's whatever. So, yeah. So, yeah, do that before you lay any stain or varnish or whatever. Know what it's look like. And the good thing about, like, if you're doing a stain and you get those little blocks of wood from the lumber store, and, you can always, and then you just do your stain, and you got your stain, wait for that to dry, put your varnish on, so you actually got an idea of what it's going to look like before you even put anything on the piece of furniture or the instrument. It's always a good idea, but if you're like me and you just kind of you think you have a natural knack for it, go ahead. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm a freewheeler, though. I don't, really care what it's going to turn out to look like. Well, I do care what it's going to look like, but I don't have a preconceived notion of what I want it to turn out to be. I just kind of let the wood decide what it wants to do and what it wants to look like. I had some big ideas for this guitar. I wanted to put the symbol of the OTO on the headstock and that, but that didn't turn out. So, I'm a little bit broken that it didn't turn out like what I wanted to do, but shit happens. So, and if you go with the universe and just let things kind of do their own thing, it will always turn out better than what you ever thought it could, or turn out better than what you had in mind. So, anyway, without further ado, it is time to get off my fine ass and get to work. All right. So it's going to be a short stream today. So here we go. Son of a bitch. Just so you guys can see what she looks like at the front. Like, look at that. Look at that fucking gloss. That's like that's like a mirror finish. I haven't even gotten to the 100,000 grit sandpaper. Oh fuck, that's fucking I haven't even got to that 100,000 grit sandpaper yet. But yeah, that's a coming. That's that's nice. And then the headstock. Like, look. Yeah. And it's going to, as it dries even more and gets even harder, it's going to get darker. So as dark as this is right now, it's going to be darker. And the orange that I put into the varnish, it really, really came off nice. It's sweet. It's sweet ass. And that's kind of, I got the exact effect that I was looking for. So I'm not going to have to do the another coat. When I get my sandpaper, I'm going to do the final, like, sanding, and then I'll buff her. I'll buff her ass, and then that's not going to take long. Do the buffing, and when I'm finished up with that, then it's time to install the parts. Like, I thought for sure I was going to have to do more than 3 coats on this, but that ain't gonna need to be done. So that's good. That's a good thing. You know, so now what I need to do is I'm gonna take this tape off here, and I'm gonna put more tape on and retape that. So and you can really smell the varnish, and that's another thing I should mention. I know that there's like a lot of people watching here probably luthiers or have done built guitars before, so but there's going to be people on YouTube that are like first timers that may be watching my channel, so I just need to make sure that I give good information. It's always good to let people know, So when you're varnishing, and I'm stating the obvious here, but hey, make sure you're in a well ventilated area when you add the varnish. Like that's like an absolute must. You want it well lit, or I should say well ventilated. I'm doing this in a garage, so yeah. Sorry, if I stop and I start stammering a little bit, if I stop and I start stammering a bit, it's because I'm a unitasker and I can't really do more than one thing at a time. I'm the complete polar opposite of a multitasker. And sometimes, like if I lose my focus on what I'm doing because I'm focused on something else, I'll just kind of, get distracted. Like I'm looking at this guitar. The only thing that's on my mind right now is what I'm doing to her. So that's kind of where I'm coming from, and that's where my mind's at. So if I stammer a little bit and I speak a little bit slower, there's a little bit of a hesitation between what I'm saying. It's because I can only focus on one thing at a time. So, yeah. When I was a kid, I had a stammering problem. And my parents wouldn't take me to therapy to help with that. But as I got older, it got better. It's funny that when I'm singing, I never stammer. It's odd. Elvis Presley, he also had a stammering issue. That's why a lot of times you hear him say, "Honey, wash." it is kind of an embarrassing thing to have. Uh, it's not fun because you listen to yourself after you do a stream and you just see yourself stammering, and it's kind of think, well, man, I fucking sound like I'm a tard. And that's, you know, you think, I kind of sound like I'm a bit slow there. It's not a thing to be. It's not something that anybody's proud to have. I don't ever hear anybody saying, "Hey, yeah, I got a speech impediment. I'm happy about that." It's extremely embarrassing, especially if you're like me and you know every word in the dictionary, or almost every word in the dictionary, and it makes you sound like you're, you know, yeah. And then people misjudge you and think you're stupid because they hear you stammering and that, and it's like, oh, this guy's just a retard. People can be cruel. Oddly enough, though, in school, I never got made fun of because of it. Well, I think that's a tribute to me getting good grades. Yeah, I was always getting in the fucking high 90s. So maybe that had a lot to do with it. People think, well, he's not stupid. He's the smartest guy in the class. So what's a little bit of a speech impediment when you're smartest kid in class? Well, I got made fun of for other things, though. I was smaller than everybody else. Like when I was 12 years old, I was about the size of a 6-year-old. And I get bugged because of that. And shortstop, squirt, you name it. They could what they could come up with. They said. All right. Now what I'm going to do here is get my tape out and tape around the body again. I always got to be doing that. So. Yeah, you can see where it's starting to do the yellowing on the binding, but I don't care about that. I mean, I think that just adds color, and to be honest with you, I really don't care about the binding anyway. It's not something that, if I was going to build a guitar, it's not something I would actually put on a guitar. So I got to be extra careful with the back. I got to be more careful with the back than what I was with the front. So, yeah, motherfucker. There we go. So, yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna put a piece of tape here. Take that. In the back, I'm not going to put the coat on as thick as I did the top, so it's going to be a little bit of a, it's going to be thinner, so yeah, I'll be able to sand all that shit out. When I used the glue, when I glued the neck to the body, I was worried that there was something wrong with the glue, but there wasn't anything wrong with it. It's just the glue. Sometimes the glue, I mean, with like really super hard glue that hardens really well, it would it can take up to 3 days for it to harden, like to get really super rock hard. Yeah, I'm really pleased with how well this is turning out. It's turned out a lot better than what I ever thought it was going to. You know, you get those, you know, when you're doing any type of work, you kind of worry that it's not going to quite turn out. And yeah. And then when you're done, it just, if you keep your bend that back a little bit there. I should take my shades off and do this properly. Now, not that my shades are like really dark shades. They're usually wearing shades all the time. I'm going to be extra careful with the taping. I'm going to tape it up a little bit better than what I did for the top. Because I don't want to get any fucking runoff. It's not something that I want. At this stage of the game, you have to be more and more precise and more thorough. The closer you get to the finish line, The more thorough you gotta be. Oh, fuck off. Care if the lacquer gets on the tape. I just don't want it getting on the body. I should say varnish. Gotta use the correct terms, because the last thing I want to hear is somebody, oh, I thought you were using varnish, not lacquer. It's like, yeah, well, there are people like that. They got nothing better to do than to, using all this tape. Fuck, I should have took some pictures. Oh well. So, one more look at her, guys. Actually, I still can take pictures, because I haven't done the back yet. So, I'm going to take a photo. Of what she looks like now. I'm doing that for Facebook, so it gets people wanting to, so when I post my progress, I have pictures to show. And for some reason or another, people prefer I shouldn't do that. Oh, cool. Okay. All right. So I got my picture taken. All right. Now I'm gonna. Okay, my tape. Yeah. that up on the seam. You don't want anything escaping through that seam there. And okay, I got a better tool for that. I'm not going to do this coat as thick as the other coats, so, and it's not going to be as thick as the coat that I did on the front because the back's really looks really nice already, so I don't really need to. So there we go. Now, yeah, all right. So I just got to do a little bit of sanding, not much. Not as much as I did the other day. Just gotta see what I've got. That. Because I already pre-sanded it yesterday, so I don't have to do the same job twice. There was just two areas where I had where the varnish kind of ran off onto the back. Not a big deal. All right. All right, so, and remember guys, never ever shake your varnish. You always stir. Stud not shaking. Yeah, so here we go. Give it a jolly good stir. Not a bloody shake, but a nice stir. Well, too, because I got some colorant in it, so I want to make sure that that colorant is. And just going to take care of my brush now. I think I'm going to do a bit of a messy job here. I got to do something here. I'll be right back. I just have to clean my little bowl out. Alright, so what I'm doing, for those, in case those don't know, well, you probably don't know, what I'm doing is I'm putting my varnish in a bigger container. That way when I do the varnishing, it's makes it a lot easier for me to control how much shit I get on the brush. So, alright, so without further ado, here we go. And final coat. There we go. That's it. Well, guys, that's about it there. That was a tough job. What I'm going to do though is I am going to make sure that I don't want to get a cloth here, just there. I want to make absolutely certain that I don't get anything on the front. Don't get any varnish on the dripping off onto the front. Make for absolute certain that that's not going to happen. Alright. That edge shouldn't be like that. I don't know if that's going to make a difference or not, but I did put my fingers on it, so I should. Just use this little brush here. So I'm just going to give it a once more over. A super duper light coat. Not that I'm not actually doing a coat. I just got to get enough so that, because like as it starts to dry. Give it a edges there, make sure nothing runs off. There you go. All right, we're done. So this is the this last coat. The last I'm gonna need to do with this, so now I just gotta watch for grips. Find a grip, just gotta wipe it all off. In there, no grips there. All right. All right. So, done. There's a grip there. And that. Oh, fuck, that's beautiful. It would be nice if I could just show you guys, just like lift it up, but if I do that, then I'll start getting bleeding, and I don't want that to happen. And I just come too close to the home stretch to do anything that's going to have a negative effect. it's just a son of a bitch. So now I just gotta pour this back. And close it. I'll get my fingers icky because I need to go out someplace and I can't have icky fucking fingers. And I'll be right back. I'm gonna wash my fucking hands again before I have an issue. Alright guys, that pretty much ends the stream for today. We're done today. Not much, nothing left to do. I knew today was going to be a very, very quick stream anyway because I just had to do the varnish thing and that's it. And then, yeah, and pack it all up. Alright, that's shut. So now it's just a matter of clean up, my little cleanup thing, and I really want to do a telly style guitar. I think telly will look really nice. That up. So yeah, it's today was a very, very quick stream. Very, very quick stream. or I should say, no. Well, I can sit here and hang out with y'all if you want. Anybody's. Oh, please don't tell me that's going to do that. This one, fucking figure you're fucking down. You notice something. You just fucking notice something. It's not just quite right. It's not. Yeah, okay, no. It's not the issue that I thought it was, which is good. I'm glad. One more once over. Make sure I don't got any dripping that's gonna drip down. I don't want to have to fucking do more fucking a whole shitload of sanding and whatever and do more work than what I have to towards the end. But yeah, so that's done. I mean, that's pretty much today's stream. I'll upload this to YouTube for all you YouTube watchers. You'll be able to watch this too. So, and then I can show that photo. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with everything here, and yeah, this is nice. Pretty much ends this stream. Yeah, we're done. Well, thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends. This is Mr. Blackstone signing out, saying hail fucking Satan and hail Hammond Ra.